All right. So welcome everyone. We'll start lying down on your back. Please feel free to lie upon any props that you find helpful. As you find your resting position, I'd like to start with breathing, allowing you to really focus in on your breath first in a gentle Anuloma Viloma 1, which is to say you take a full gentle inhalation, fill up completely, and then match your exhalation to your inhalation. And it's a casual match. It's not an aggressive match. When you inhale, you fill, you really use your breathing here as your entree into your body this morning. Oh, hello, body. What's going on? How do you feel? Where do you feel the mat underneath you? How does the movement of your lungs affect the rest of your body? Inhaling completely and then matching the inhalation with your exhalation. And then as you proceed along this path, you might like to add a gentle, tiny, or even a little bigger than tiny pause. When your breath is all the way filled up and your lungs are all full, pause before the exhalation. For some, that kind of pause actually creates an interesting pivot for your attention and your experience. Then you exhale again, matching your exhale to your inhale. As you progress, you may even find that elongating your pause a little bit has a very interesting effect. Yeah, that it's actually kind of calming, quieting, gives you a moment of experience that's quite unique. But sometimes we find that those pauses don't feel good. So simply breathing all the way in and all the way out without the pauses is a beautiful practice. You can also add a pause in what we call external kumbhak, the exhalation phase, where you've exhaled all your air. You can create a tiny little pause or a pause, really, of any length before you inhale again. So, in principle, if you're doing both pauses, you may choose to elongate your pauses to match the length of both your inhalation and your exhalation, and therefore create what we call box breathing, where you inhale, pause the same length, exhale, and pause for the same length of time. But again, these are casual matchings of timing, not punitive. So give yourself some leeway and let it be a bit soft. And speaking of soft, one of the key features of these kumbhaks, these holdings of your breath, is that we want to soften around the holding. So it's a easy, soft, gentle breath hold rather than, oh my goodness, I'm going to explode. At any point, when you discover this breath sequence is not really working for you anymore, or you're just ready to rest, allow that breath to revert to its natural path. No particular special rhythm or pattern. Make sure there's enough support under the back of your head and your neck right now so that your shoulders can truly relax. And start to move your arms gently out into a T or T-like shape, but making sure that that T-like shape really fits with what your shoulders need. Bending your knees if they aren't already bent. So bend your knees completely, place your feet flat, and widen your feet out to the edges of your mat and lift up onto your heels so that your toes are up and your heels dig into the mat and down. and start to rotate your legs from side to side in windshield wipers. Make this an active windshield wipering, which means that you're digging your heels down into the mat away from your body as if you're trying to gouge out your mat with your heels. Sort of like when you spread pizza dough and you push too hard, you see the pan underneath. Try to do that with your mat. And if you're not dealing with dizziness or a felt sensation that moving your head is not so great, you might turn your chin the opposite direction to the direction your legs are going. So same thing we did on Wednesday here. But press your low back flat as you come through the center and dwell a second or two there. So let it be a very slow transition through the middle so that you do actually flatten your back and hover there for a moment, pressing down with your low back before you tilt to the opposite side. Notice your legs will be working. This is not exactly comfortable necessarily. And especially because we're lifting up your toes, your forearms, your forelegs, your shins, there are muscles there around and either side of and in front of your shins that are working here, and they might get a little tired. That's actually not a bad thing. Then meet me back in the center and bring both knees up. Hold on to the backs of your thighs. Let your knees be as wide as is comfortable and rock from side to side. Again, like we did on Wednesday, use your elbows as bumpers so you can roll, but then your elbows catch you. You roll easily side to side. Okay. Then place your right foot flat and place your left ankle on top of your right thigh for a figure four. And very gently tilt your legs now again from right to left, this time in the twist. Your right heel can be the point that digs into the mat. As you bring your legs from side to side, it's like a one-legged windshield wiper with a sidecar situation. So your left ankle is resting on your right thigh and you're gently twisting from right to left. Once again, adding the movement of your head and neck if it feels comfortable. And you can certainly slow this way down and hang out at one juncture or another, or gently rock in a more even keel way, side to side. Meet me back in the center and reach for your left leg with your two hands. So I might grab my knee and my ankle, for example. Imagine your right thigh is now stuck to the outer edge of your left ankle. So now when you pull your left leg up to your chest using your arms, your right leg comes along for the ride. Maybe there's a stretch in your left hip and thigh. Anybody feel that? Yeah. So weirdly, I kind of like to pull my bent leg, my top bent leg into my chest and use this sort of magnetic contact of my right knee. Even though I grab my bottom leg here, this time I'm grabbing the top and it just changes subtly the stretch. Breathe into your left hip, buttock, thigh, all the places you feel a stretch. And then lower your right foot back down. So you're holding onto your right leg. Now lower your left leg, sorry. Your right leg goes back down. Kick your left leg to the sky with a bent knee. Hold on to the back of your left thigh. Hug your left knee close to your chest and take a moment to use your fingers to massage out the back of your left hamstring. Your knee is bent here. Your right foot is flat on the mat so that your back is rounded and pressing flat. You can even use your palms, you can use your fists, create a little heat, a little friction at the back of your right thigh from your tailbone or from your buttock bone to the gently to the back of your knee. We're not aggressive at the back of the knee. Massage out your left leg a little bit. And now for some, interlacing your hands tightly around the belly of your left hamstring, which means right in the middle of your thigh bone. Hug your palms tightly, tightly into your muscle, and then any amount. Point your toes of your left foot, maybe straighten your knee a little bit, don't force it. Then bend your knee all the way. Your left heel comes to your buttock. Then kick and lengthen, not forcing your knee to straight because we're not necessarily ready for that. For some, you might say, yeah, I am. That's fine. And for others, oh, no, not quite. use the heat and pressure of your palms to flatten your hamstring muscle to the back of your thigh bone. One more, straighten and bend. Circle your left ankle here in the straight position. I said bend, but now I'm asking you to keep your leg lengthening and circle your ankle. Notice if you're grinding your molars and shrugging your shoulders in the effort to hug your left thigh in closer. Try to use the muscles around your shoulder blades. Oh, and welcome, rather than your jaw, your neck, etc. Then slowly breathe. Now take your left thigh and cross it over your right thigh as if you're sitting at a stool at a cocktail bar and you're doing the thing your chiropractor says never to do, which is to sit with your legs crossed, right? Now reach down for the outer edges of your mat and recenter your hips with your flat back, low back flat, right thigh under left thigh. Then lift both legs up and reach for your knees. Flex both of your feet and gently rock from side to side. Okay. Now, from here, you can stay here rocking side to side with your legs crossed. Squeeze your thighs together. If it's workable for your shoulders, reach your arms out wide again, like we did earlier. Now we'll go into a twist with this position where you bring your legs to the left and look right. Again, not if you're dealing with any dizziness, you don't turn your head, but if you can turn your head. And if anybody has a dinging device, you might just peek at it and silence it. Always happens to me, so it's no harm, no foul. And we'll go the other way. Legs over to the right, chin goes left. For many people, this direction is a little weird. And notice if you feel like it's better to put your right foot on the floor. Totally fine to do that. Yeah. Twisting with your legs to the left, I tend to have my feet lifted but when my legs go to the right, I put my right foot down. Why is that? Just feels better on my hips. You might not need either of those. You might keep your legs lifted the whole time or keep your right foot grounded the whole time as you twist left and right in this slightly different position to what we did before. Challenge your shoulders to stay grounded as we go one more time each way. Only move your legs within the context of shoulders completely flat, not lifting either shoulder blade. And then meet me back in the center. Now, this is the doozy. Hold on to the backs of your thighs, kick your heels, and any amount move towards happy baby. Now, this is a very cursory happy baby. We're not sure about the baby happy baby. Hold the backs of your thighs, pull your knees gently down towards your armpits and outer ribs. And now look at your legs and see, do your knees need to be bent? Great if they do. Do you feel like, whoa, maybe I could even kick through my heels a little bit to work towards a little bit straighter knee on both sides? Maybe not. Reach your legs any amount to bend and then fold your knees back in. Heels can even drop back down towards your hips. Then option again to kick and lengthen your legs. This is not supposed to be a straight leg position. It might for some of you, and for others, it for sure will not be. So, two more in the direction of straightenings and then nice bendings of your knees. All right. And then slowly bring both knees into your chest and make a circle on the ceiling with your knees, either relaxing, letting go of your legs, not holding on, or holding onto your legs so that your hip joints are more supported and your hip flexors can relax. All right, then place your left foot flat and put your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Reach for your right leg, keeping your ankles stuck to your left thigh, and bring both knees up into your chest. And notice whether you feel any stretch in your right hip, hamstring, buttock area. Anybody feel that? Yeah, so that's your figure four. Breathing. Ah, might even circle your left ankle just for laughs. Now reach your arms out wide, and now we go for the twist. Now, of course, once more, if it feels better to ground your left foot down on the floor, it's absolutely fine to do that. Yeah. So for someone, you twist in this figure four, both legs will be lifted. And for others, no, your left foot will be grounded. And that is absolutely great. No problem with it. Yeah. Breathing. Remember that thing called breathing? Both in and out. Ah. Notice if you're grinding your expensive dental work. Try not to do that. Yeah. Two more of these at your pace. You could turn your chin opposite to the direction of your legs if you choose. That's it. Thank you, Laura. Good question. Yes, absolutely. Shoulders ideally stay grounded, though, if you notice your shoulder lifting up a little bit and it's not stressful, it's not a problem. It's only that it creates a different kind of alignment when you don't let your shoulders rise. If it feels uncomfortable, that's an easy no thank you. But if it doesn't feel uncomfortable, a little rise is not, again, not going to hurt you. But I do like to work with the shoulders fully grounded most of the time. Yeah. And you can always say, I hate that. I'm going to let my shoulder lift up, and that's fine too. When you come on back to the center, place your left foot flat, interlace your hands, and now actually let's do that massage. So not yet the interlace, but grab on, dig in with your fingertips, your fingernails, rake your right hamstring muscle. You can even use your fist or your knuckles, raking up and down using heat and pressure. This can actually change the conformation of the connective tissue that's wrapping the back of your hamstring. So heat and pressure does actually modify the conformation of those long, ropey, netty, encasing structures that hug and hold your muscles together and connect everything in your whole body. So fascia is really malleable. So we're creating some heat and pressure to create more mobility in your fascia. Now interlace your hands tightly around or grip your forearm and wrist to your muscle if interlacing isn't for you. And now this is where we work in the direction of straightening your right knee, but we don't force your knee to straight. We're not forcing the hamstring stretch either. It's more of a sandboxy kind of, wow, wonder what it would be like to straighten my knee here as I point my foot. Then really bend your knee and relax your leg completely back into your chest. And then again, you can re engage the straightening action. So we're warming up your hamstring muscle, then stretching it as a way to free up your hips and your low back a little bit. But the context of this hamstring lengthening is that your back is flat, not lifting. Couple more straightens and bends of your right leg, really getting to be close, intimate friends with your right hamstrings. You have four of them. They're very big, so they take a lot of coaxing. One more big breath in as you reach your right leg long, and then circle your ankle. Again, your knee might not be fully straight. It's totally fine if it isn't. Sometimes I'll even wrap my hands around the back of my knee and kind of use the heat and pressure of my hands to actually encircle my knee all the way around, palms on kneecap and back. And that actually can be nice too, because you have hamstrings that run right behind your knee as well. So that can be kind of nice. Now, cross your right thigh over your left as close and squeezed together as you can, and then shift your hips to the middle of your mat. And now, if you wish to keep your left foot grounded, no problem. Keep your left foot on the mat. If you find, hey, I could lift both knees up, awesome, lift both knees up and grab your knees and hug your knees any amount to your chest. Now, flex both feet, squeeze your thighs, and bring your arms to the side for the twist. And to Laura's point of the earlier question of keep your shoulders grounded, this is another one where we ideally keep your shoulders grounded. Your legs go right, your chin can go left, not if you're dealing with vertigo, and opposite. Squeeze. The more you squeeze your legs together, the more you're asking those big muscles to work, getting more blood flow, warming up your body. So, in principle, your legs are so squished together that you have lots of contact between your two thighs. Squeeze, 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 side to side. There we go. All right. And slowly come on back to the center. One more into happy baby. Hold on to the backs of your thighs. Bring your knees outer, a little bit towards your armpits. They might not go that wide. That's okay. And then lift the soles of your feet up to shine up towards the ceiling. I like to hold the backs of my thighs. You might instead grab your shins or even your baby toes. Now, endeavor here to flatten out your whole back, including the lowest part of your tailbone. So instead of curling your tailbone up to the ceiling, roll your tailbone flat down. Try to make as much of your back uh, flat onto the mat as you can, and hug your feet, your legs downward with your arms as you push up into your legs. Your arms are getting pushed up by your feet are getting pulled down by your arms. Big breath into your belly, and then let that go. All right, now from here, we have our block. Take your block underneath the back of your head and your second block in your hand. I'm doing a repeat of what we did on Wednesday with the core strengthening. Block goes into your left knee. So I'm lying on my back. My right foot is flat. Block is under my head to give me a little lift, which can help you flatten out your low back more completely. And then, as we did on Wednesday, the idea is to use your right palm on your block to create resistance that you use to push into your left knee, and then open your left knee to the left by pushing it with your right hand. Then close your left knee and cross your left knee over your belly button as your leg goes left to right. Notice that tension often builds in the back of your head and neck. Anybody feel that? So, best you can, soften your brain, maybe turn your head side to side, or remove the block that's under your head and place your palm under the back of your skull, but let your index finger and your thumb be at the junction where your neck meets your skull and kind of squeeze into the back of your head. In other words, pushing up into your head as your head falls down into your hand, for some can help create a little ease in your neck. Now, if you're looking for more intensity, try lifting your shoulder blades up, but gaze at the ceiling behind you so that you're lifting straight up rather than curling your chest towards your knees. If you wish to kick your right leg long, you can reach your right leg long on the mat. You don't need to lift your right leg at all. You can keep it bent and flat, or float your right leg up and scissor your leg opposite to right leg scissors opposite to your left. Cross your thighs left over right, and then widen both of your thigh bones, and then cross and widen. Your right leg is sweeping left to right if you are in the business of hovering your right leg. Yeah, maybe flex your right leg foot. Yeah, nice. Turn your right toes and knee to face the ceiling. That's it, Dominique. Yes. There you go, Sarah. Exactly. Yeah. And in principle, your gaze stays centered in the center line of the ceiling above you. You don't necessarily turn your head, but you do scissor inner thigh, outer hip. Nice. Yeah. Beautiful. Now make it harder for yourself. The idea is that the block, you're like, it's already hard enough. And come on down, take a break. Yeah. So the idea is that you can, as you are doing this, create that resistance with your hand, whereby you push your block into your knee, you push your knee into your block, and you're working on both sides of that block. Let's switch sides. Now I believe it's your left foot flat and your right leg lifted. Is that correct? Okay, good. So your left palm holds your block against your right inner knee. Your left foot is flat here at the moment. Now push your knee out to the right with your left hand, but resist with your leg. That or works your outer hip. Now push the opposite way. That works your inner thigh. So we're going right and left, moving your right leg like a cupboard door. Open, close, open, close. Pull your left elbow down to your ribs so that your left shoulder blade is hugging in and down underneath you using your bat wing muscles rather than your neck and upper shoulder muscles. Now, of course, you can stretch your left leg long and hover it on the mat. Keep it down on the mat or lift it. And then finally, you can do the scissoring action. Yeah, that's it, Carmen. Good. Straightening your left knee only if it feels comfortable, only if it feels manageable. That's it, Anne. Exactly. Yep. Yep. Exactly. Right knee crosses over left. Flex both of your feet for me. Yeah, Katie. Good. Yes. That's it, Naomi. Excellent. Yes. Very good, Laura B. Awesome. See, Carolyn, make it harder for yourself. There you go, Sherry. Yes, I love it. I was looking at that resistance, Shelley. That's excellent. You've got that resistance going. That's what we're looking for. Nice, Laura. Yeah, there you go, Joanne. Exactly. Pushing your knee with your block, push your block with your knee. Nice, Sarah. You can always rest and come back and join us. Sit, Michael. Squeeze your belly button down to your spine. Beautiful, Carol. Yes, Sarah. Good. That's it, Jim. John. I'm calling you Jim. John. That's exactly what we're looking for. That resistance. There you go, Kathleen. All right. And when you're ready, take a break. Nicely done. All right. Just reach your legs long and give them a little shake. You can kind of just rustle your legs. Da, 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 da. Okay. Now, where I'd like to go is to side lying position. You're like, oh no, side lying position. We haven't done that in a long time. I'm not a huge fan. Side lying position, because you have this thing, you have this bump on your femur bone called a greater trochanter. Trochanters are just bony bumps where tendons attach. So you've got this bump on your outer hip, which for some of us digs in weirdly intensely. No matter what's going on in terms of padding on your body, you might still have a very uncomfortable outer thigh bone problem. So that's why I put multiple blankets underneath me because I'm a baby. My husband would say, "You're such a baby." I fully confess to being a person with don't like pain. So, blanket under my outer hip, lock, optional between your thigh bones, bolster under my left ear and your left ear, because that way, when you lie down on your left side, you could swap it out for a blanket, a block, your own left arm. But we're looking for a neutral neck so that your nose, your chin, the center of your chest, the center of your pelvis are roughly speaking in one flat horizontal line where you kick your legs long. And now we're in a sideline Tadasana, mountain pose, where your whole body is lined up like a train. The crown of your head goes directly down through your trunk, which goes directly down through your legs, all in one straight line. If you lift and tuck your chin and look down the length of the front of your body, we're looking for the center of the space between your feet to be in line with your pelvis, your shoulders, and the crown of your head. Most of us need to move our heads back about an inch or two, typically. If you're using a block squeeze between your thighs, great, squeeze it. If you're not, no problem. Simply press your feet down. Your feet might not touch. It's okay if they don't. Certainly, if you have a block, they most likely won't. Then put your right hand down on the mat in front of you or even on a block. Sometimes that helps to actually have some height under your right palm so that you can really push down with your right arm. Your right elbow is hugging into your ribs. Then, when you lift both legs up simultaneously, slightly, the idea is that you might put your right hand on your right hip for a moment and see whether your right hip is tilting backwards behind you as you lift your legs. That's quite natural because your hip flexors are very active. Typically, they want to jump right out in front of everything and do things for you that you're not asking them to do. So kick your feet a little further back behind you for most of us and try to lift straight up. And if you feel like it's hard to lift your legs at all, that's where you want to be. If it's easy to lift your legs, you probably have your feet a little further in front of your body and your hip rolling back. So we want to keep your hips stacked over, left over, right over left, and your legs directly in line. Yes, that's it. That's it, Carmen. Exactly. Even a teeny bit more. There you go. And you got it. Notice that how much your hip wants to go back towards Mass Ave. Yeah. Sit, Laura. Good. Straight knees. Gorgeous. Of course, you don't even need to really lift your legs much at all because you're working so hard on your outer right hip. I can even feel the heat in your muscles there. That's it, Katie. Good. And left knee is loud. So you might even just bend your left knee and keep it flat on the floor, no block, and keep your left knee bent right there, and then just lift your right leg. Yes, better? Yes. Good, good, good. Beautiful, Naomi. Flex your feet for me. Nice. Yes. Breathing, lengthening. Good. If you want this under your head, Naomi, I can pop this bolster under your ear. There you go. Is that workable? And then your left arm can come a little bit lower, straight out in front of you, and sneak that up. There you go. A little bit better on your neck. Nice. That's it. Very good. Try to straighten your knees more. I know. They're like, she's forgetting that we're in this stupid, doing this stupid thing, and she's just walking around talking to people. This is crazy. When you're ready, bend your knees in front of you. Rest. So we're in a sideline position with your knees curled up. Now take your right shoulder blade, not shoulder, I should say, just roll your shoulder forward and up and back and around. So your arm doesn't necessarily really move that much, but your shoulder rolls. So this is a lying on your left side, knees curled up, gentle but nice kind of gooey right shoulder makes a circle. If it feels good for you to now point your elbow out and forward and make a circle with your right elbow, you can kind of extend into that range of motion. And for those who feel like it's kind of nice to straighten your elbow, you can take your whole right arm and create a big wide circle. Of course, you need to match it to what's going on with your shoulder joint and your neighbor. Eventually, for some, you end up twisting all the way over towards the right side of your mat, and even finding that your left arm slides out away from your midline so that you're twisting more completely all the way open. In other words, your left arm slides to the left to help you descend your right shoulder blade a little bit more completely downward. If it feels good to hold in the twist, please feel free to do so. For some, it's actually helpful to do this with your right arm folded across your body so that you're not stressing out your right shoulder. So you might hold in the twist with your right arm as if in a sling. You can still even rotate your head from side to side, breathing either into a gentle movement twist or into a still one. Yes, nice. That's it, John. Good. That's it, Kathleen. Beautiful, Sarah. And in this, we just go like that. That's it. There we go. Right. So that just gives you a little bit more of that sort of length here. Do you feel that? That's it. Here. Right. When your body says, okay, yeah, Lynn, exactly. Gently hold your right arm back in, curl back onto your left side, collect yourself onto your left side, and then roll like a sort of soft teddy bear over to the other side, winding your way over onto your right ear. If you found that the block was not helpful, of course, let it go. If you found that the block actually didn't, was work great, keep your block between your upper thigh bones. Once again, it's really helpful to monitor the position of your hip that's on top. So if it's your left hip on top, you might notice whether it wants to tilt backwards or forwards. See if you can stack your left hip directly over your right. Now, I have a predilection for the block in front of my chest, and I push down onto it with my left hand. You can certainly leave that block out or push down into the mat. Squeeze your buttock muscles, pull your belly button up and back to engage your core muscles, and squeeze your glutes, your tailbone slightly tucking down towards your heels. So we're not overarching your low back. And then, lifting and lowering. Once again, if you feel super limited by the position your hips are in, that's most likely correct. The felt sense is that you cannot, for many of us, can't really lift your legs very high, but if you put your left hand on your side waist, even your outer upper hip there, you'll feel quite a bit of muscle action. It takes a lot in your external obliques, your outer hip muscles, to lift your legs in this way, even though you don't get to lift them a lot because it's not that easy to do so. Yes, and you can certainly stretch your left arm straight up to the sky. I love that variation. It's a little bit like a triangle lifted arm. And notice again if your head is shifted forward and whether your legs and feet might be shifted in front of your body. That's it, Dominique. Yeah, flexing both feet, even maybe this one too. Yeah, that's it. And the more you straighten your knees here and pull your quadriceps up into your knees caps up into your quadriceps. In other words, really straighten your legs. That's it, Sarah. Exactly, Sarah H. Yes, that's it. A little bit left hip forward, Lynn, towards mass. You got it. That's it. That's it, Sarah W. Squeeze your buttocks. Yes, nice, Michael. We're a little bit left hip to the music, a little rotate anteriorly this way. So, yes, harder. Right. Yes. Remembering to breathe. Flex your feet. Yes. Good. Even a little more here. There you go, John. Yeah, feel that? That's weird, right? A little further back with your legs. There you go. Harder, right? That's it. Carol, good. A little bit hip to the Carol, Kathleen, a little bit more forward. You're like, what? Yes. All right. Question? Yeah. Keep going or rest. Yeah. When you're ready, bend your knees in front of your body. Take a break. Mhm.
How do you know if you're in the right position? I'm rolling onto this bone.
Yes, you'll feel that bone. You're on it. It's like a billiard ball. That's it.
Do I look in the right position?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's exact. And you put that block behind your butt, and that's perfect because then when you roll back, you really feel that billiard ball kind of feeling. It's like a real bump, yeah? Now shoulder roll, left shoulder circling, bend your knees in front of you, side lying position, soft left shoulder roll. Now this is really, I say it's a shoulder roll, but it's really a rib cage movement. It's a twist in your upper thoracic spine. So as you roll your left shoulder forward and up towards your ear, back behind you, you may discover that you end up twisting. Again, you can add your elbow so that you can make a big giant circle with your left elbow. And finally, for some, perhaps even a straight arm. Your arm might even be parallel to the floor. So, sort of like a helicopter blade going around. As your left arm goes to the left, you might slide your right arm, that's your bottom arm, further out to the front of you, which allows you to twist your upper body a little more completely down and open. Yeah. Sometimes the bolster height is too much. So if you discover you want to be in this twist, but your chin is jamming into your chest, slide that bolster out and, oh, wow, now I'm in a twist and I don't feel like my chin is carving a little divot in my collarbone. So take a moment or two breathing into your twist. This is the denouement. We're so happy we're done with those side lifts. Maybe even turn your chin from shoulder to soften your eyes and relax your neck. All right. Then we'll find our way over onto your front body. Now, if your blanketing you have underneath you is not opened up long, see if you can open it up long. So I'll show you what I mean. So if you have kind of folded short blanket, take your blankets and open them up like this into this long shape. This is the sort of magic carpet position that we're looking for. So we want this long blanket underneath you for lying on your front body. Okay. And if you're in the carpeted room, you might not need a blanket, or you might just need one. But what we want is to be lying down on your front body for some shalabhasana work, basically adult tummy time. Blanket, I know that's obnoxious to say that, but there it is. Rolling up your blanket for the tops of your feet is super helpful. Okay. Sometimes people feel like that's silly. I don't need that. No problem if you don't. Okay. So coming over onto your front body, make sure that the blanketing you have is completely wide open. Ah, there you go, John. So yeah, you would just unfold those. That's great. Okay. Now, from lying down on your front body with your legs draped long, your legs and feet hips distance apart, your palms stacked under your forehead. Settle for a moment. I often like to lift and lower one thigh at a time, maybe even pound my feet against the blanket under my feet, getting a little blood flow. This is called a yoga tantrum when you kick your feet down like this. Activating the muscles in your legs, rocking side to side, swishing your hips from side to side. Ah, all right. And then finding stillness. Squeeze your buttock muscles, press your pubic bone deep into the blanket. Try to pull your belly button right up out of the mat. Take your low ribs and pull them towards the center of your body, making a concavity between your chest and your pelvis. Then take your left leg and stretch it so long down the mat that your knee gets completely straight and you lift your left leg any amount. And then lower it back down. Inhale here. Exhale, squeeze your buttock muscles, press your pubic bone down, reach your right leg so far away from you that you lengthen it and then lift it and lower it back down. Now you can keep going in this mode. This is a very nice way to strengthen the muscles along your back line and also to lengthen your hip flexors, which are the ones that are usually locked really short and they're usually not very strong either, which is another situation. Now, if that is fine for you and would like to progress to a slightly different mode, here's the idea. You squeeze your buttocks, press your pubic bone down, straighten both knees, and then see if it works to float both feet up. If it doesn't feel so good, put both feet back down and try lifting your head up just a little bit, hovering with your chin neutral looking down. Now try lifting your feet up and see, does that feel any better? If not, keep your head down and do one leg lifts. You don't need to lift both feet in any way. Yeah? But if lifting both feet works, whether your head is lifted or no, start to kick your feet like you're in a tiny wading pool and you're trying not to lift your foot above the water. Kick, 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 kick your feet. Knees are straight as pins. Your pubic bone is pressing down so firmly that you maintain a deep connection there. Pubic bone pressing, squeeze your buttocks, kick, 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 kick. Anybody's legs getting tired? Feel your buttocks getting tired. Feel your thigh bones getting tired. Thighs getting tired, right? Tired. It's all working, okay? And then relax. Bend your knees. Windshield wiper your legs. That's kind of hard, isn't it, to do the kick, kick? Right? Yeah. Kick, kick, kick. Yeah. All right, now keep your knees bent. For me, I like to turn my head to one side sometimes to give my head and neck a break. So please feel free to just rest your temple on the mat instead of having your forehead on your palms, and maybe even bring your arms down to the sides of your body. For some, that's helpful, especially where we're going next. So here's the idea. Um, in fact, I did say maybe bring your arms down to the sides of your body, but let's try to do that. And if it doesn't work for you, of course, we can have modifications. But if your arms can come down to the sides of your body, do that. And then make fists with your hands and have the index finger and thumb side of your fists on the blanket next to your thighs. Press down with your pubic bone, squeeze your buttocks, flex your feet, and bend your knees to a nice sharp 90 degrees. Push down with your fists, squeeze your shoulder blades together. You might even feel your shoulder heads, the place where your epaulets would be, lifting. Now, your head can stay grounded or lift. I tend to keep mine grounded here. And as you kick through your right heel, push down with your left knee. Try to reach your right thigh off the mat and bring your right thigh back down. And now push down with your fist. Your elbows might bend a little bit. Push down with your fist. Lift your left thigh, any amount, and back down. Now, if you have a different arm position, sometimes I'll bring my hands flat onto the wood, not outside of my mat, elbows hug in against my ribs. This is a little more praying mantis-y. This helps me lift my leg. So your arms can go to any position where the pressure of your palms, arms, fists downward can help you push your right or left foot up to the sky with a bent knee. So use your arms to help you in as much as you are comfortable doing so. Yeah. It's easier to lift your thigh if you use your arms, isn't it? Very good. Lifting and lowering, strengthening your hamstring muscles, your buttock muscles. Try to keep your tailbone tucking, though. Try to keep your non-lifted leg hip grounding. Nicely done. These are very good. Wow. When you've done an even number, relax and make your windshield wipers circles. So instead of the side to side windshield wipers, relax your head, take the position of support for your head, neck, and shoulders. That's your most favorite right now. And then bring your ankles way down to the foot of your mat, way over to the left, way up towards your glutes, way over to the right. Yeah, so circling, and then circle the other way. Round you go. Massaging out your hips. It's a real rotation of your pelvis, side to side. And go the other way if you haven't already. Okay, and then slowly roll over onto your side. I like to reach my favorite arm forward by my ear, roll onto that same side. Then I'll tuck my knees up and use my arms to help me slowly come on up. Okay. Okay, now we have a strap situation. We need a loop, and for that, the loop we want is one that's wide enough that when you put your arms inside your loop, we'll be doing this in a tabletop position, that when you push out through your arms against your loop is above your elbows and will be like this. This will be a tabletop position, but on your forearms. And I do typically not want my elbows on the blanket, but if it feels better for your bony elbows to be on the blanket, no problem. But the idea is that you have your knees on a support, your palms touch, prayer position, and you're pushing your elbows wide. And if the strap is too wide, it will feel like you can't make the strap taut. Did you get a funky one?
No, I mean, I think the word forever. Wow, that's okay.
Ah, yeah, go through both and then back up and over that one. There you go. So the width of the strap, when you put the loop around your upper arms, we want your elbows to be about shoulders width. Yes, roughly. If the loop feels too wide, it can make it really hard to create a tightness in the loop. We want your loop to be tight, pulled taut, yeah, with no softness in your strap at all. Okay. Okay. Above your elbows. Now, of course, you don't need the strap. If it feels like it's not good for you, it doesn't feel right, take away your strap. The idea is that we're in your tabletop with your palms to touch, your elbows pushing outward. Your knees are together, your spine is long, and you're pushing your elbows into your strap, which means your outer shoulders feel like they're working. With your toes not on your blanket, just your knees for softness, what we do is slowly tuck your toes under and see about lifting your knees 1 inch off of the mat and then putting your knees back down. Now, for some people, you can even put the tops of the shoelace sides of your feet down and lift up, but that's not so nice on my toe joints. I'm just saying. So the idea is that you slowly lift your hips up 1 inch and lower back down. Pushing your elbows wide, your neck is long, your chin is neutral. Now you can always do this without your strap and simply tabletop, palms flat, elbows micro bent, lift your knees a tick, put them back down. Simple, right? So you don't need all that rigmarole with your strap and with your elbows bent and all of that. Okay. So take a moment to choose to try it out and see, and then to make the choice that's best for your body, your shoulders, your neck, your back. As you lift your hips up, for some, it will be interesting to explore dolphin, which is this is a different version of dolphin. Whether you're on your hands and knees or your forearms and knees, bring your shoulders right over your elbows or wrists, and then lift your hips up, keeping your head and neck long. Then, if you wish to go into dolphin, if you're on your forearms, you can tippy toe your feet towards your elbows any amount, bending your knees a lot, and lift your hips up any height. Your head, and then we lower back down, take a break. The position of your shoulders is right over your elbows, and the degree to which you lift your hips may be a lot or not much at all, maybe just 1 inch. Pushing out into your elbows, lengthening through the crown of your head. That's it, Shelley. That's it, Sherry. Good. That's it, Carmen. Yes, Laura B. Good. That's it. Yes, Laura W. And your palms can be flat on the mat or palms together. Yes, that's it. Yeah. Ooh, not so good on your shoulder there, Joanne. And so instead, what you might do, Joanne, is put your hands flat and do a small lift of your hips like this. So you can do this without your forearms down, but probably want to just take it onto the sticky mat there for you. Yeah, onto the blue part. So that as you grip with your 10 fingerprints with your elbows slightly bent, you lift your hips up an inch or two, hold and breathe, and put them back down. Yes, that's supposed to feel like work. Does it feel like work?
That's what we're.
Yes. Very good question. Thank you, Sarah. Knees stay bent when you lift your hips. Of course, if you really want to go way, way, way up into dolphin, you can tiptoe your feet really close to your elbows, and then your knees might straighten more. When you feel ready to come on down and take a break. Yeah. Questions? Yeah. Yes. So if you feel it as a stress on the shoulders, that's when I get rid of the strap, bend my elbows slightly, place my palms, and then it's just a small hip lift. Yeah. So the modification for shoulder compression and a feeling it's just too much is to bring your hands forward of your armpits so your hands are not right under your shoulders. I did say that, but it's probably better to have your hands slightly further forward from your armpits and the slow lift of your hips into a knee lifted tabletop. That's really all it is a knee lifted tabletop. And then you put your knees back down. So it means your thigh muscles are working overtime when you lift your legs up just for your knees to hover. It's much harder than lifting your hips all the way up in downward dog because it means you're holding and using your muscles more in your thighs. Other questions? Take a break. Come on down. Why would we do this? Strengthening. Yeah. For those of you for whom it's not stressful for the shoulder joint, this builds you in the direction of a Pincha Mayurasana, a dolphin. Typically, this pose is done in a way where you're asked to bring your shoulders behind your elbows. You see this? Right? This movement backwards. But I like to instead teach it where your shoulders go right over your elbows instead of pulling back. Because for some of us, that pulling back action is even harder on the shoulder joint. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Holding yourself up against gravity, using your upper body. So it's an inversion, like a handstand, like a headstand, but it's less intense than the typical inversions. Yeah, yeah. So not that it's fun. I'm just really saying. Now, after it's so much fun, right? For after having done that, if you found that the strap around your upper arm bones was actually reasonable, the next one would be either standing wall downward dog or strap around your elbows. Now, I need my strap wider. If I'm going to have my hands flat, elbows micro bent, push out into the strap, you might stay right here. Don't go anywhere. Just push your elbows wide. Tabletop, it's already a lot of work in the shoulders. Collarbone is broad, neck is long. Okay. For some, no strap. Absolutely doesn't feel appropriate. Finally, those who wish to do a downward dog on the mat, notice I'm not bopping up into my downward dog. I'm keeping my elbows bent and pushing them sideways. And then I'll slowly reach my heels back, lift my hips up. Maybe my forehead rests on the strap. So that is for some of us, if the alignments of your bone lengths, etc., works, it can be a really nice way to do a downward dog where you maintain an elbow bend and you have a shelf to rest your forehead on. Not everybody's arms and neck and head will be the lengths that allow you to rest your head on the strap, but try to draw your hips up and back in this variation so that you really lengthen backwards and upwards through your armpits. Pushing out into your strap can be helpful so that you're shoring up your shoulders as you do it. Yeah. Yeah, that's it, Joanne. So downward facing dog in a simple way is totally fine. You don't need the strap, but it's interesting for some to use the strap as a way to keep the integrity of your shoulders as you lift your hips up and back. Carol, good. Yeah. Yes. Question. And come on down, everybody, when you're ready. Yes. Yeah. Ah, great question. This is a perfect time to do that exact exercise. So, since you're in your downward dog, you might have your strap or not. You don't need it. Don't worry, we won't belabor this. The idea of downward dog ups and downs is this: you're in your tabletop, and either you're on your forearms or your palms, but you can slowly move your hips up and back Find a downward dog-ish position. Prioritize the length of your spine over the straightening of your knees, and then slowly lower back to tabletop as soon as you need to, which could be very quick. So we lift your hips up, pull your hips back, and slowly lower your knees down. So we're not taking big, giant chunks of downward dog. We're taking small bites of downward dog, which means you have less dwell time in your shoulders. You can pause and breathe in the alignment, then you come down more quickly. So you're not stressing out in the same way that you do when you stay longer. Yeah, a little hard on the wrists there. Yes. So any stress in the wrists, here's a couple things you can do. One is to patting of your base of your palm. So what I do then, Shelly, is roll up the front of your mat, create a little roll, a berm that's made of sticky mat. Press the pad of the heel of your palm into that and ground it. Now put all five fingerprints on the wood, all five. Now really grip with your fingerprints onto the wood so your hands are very active. Bend your elbows back towards your knees, and that's your downward dog position. For some, that helps with that discomfort in the heel of the hand. Anybody find some benefit there? Okay, that Ruth Knill taught me that years and years ago. For some, that's helpful. For others, you really need to go to your forearms because your wrists are already a little bit compressed and you need to give them some space. Joanne, nice downward dog. Very good. Exactly, Dominique. Now, when you're done, you're like, "Oh, I'm so done. Come on down, take a break." Okay. Really nice work. Now, luckily, we already have a strap, so that's fabulous. Let's gradually move all the stuff off of your mat and bring just your strap with you to stand up tall. Go to Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1 position. What we'll be doing is taking this strap loop and making it small so you can put your right foot into your loop. So this is kind of a nice one because your strap can be arbitrarily tiny, just enough for your right foot to be inside. Your strap need not be very long. If you have a longer strap, it can go over your shoulder. And if you ended up with a short one, here's what I do with a short one. If you found you got a short one, you want a long one, trade with me because I have a nice long one here. Okay. Anybody have a short one? They kind of wish they had a longer one. That's a short one, Sherry. Let's give you this one. Carmen, you need a long one. Let's give you a long one. You okay?
Yeah, I think
You think you're okay? All right. If anybody changes, that's too short. Yeah. Strap around your right foot. Okay, good. Strap around your right foot. Strap in principle maybe goes over your right shoulder, but don't worry if it doesn't because there are so many options to avail yourself of. And if you discover midway that it's not working, raise your hand and I will come to you. The idea is this: Warrior 1, your right foot is the one with the strap. Your strap, for some shoulders, it's going to be easier to do this, to reach with your right hand down by your leg, and this will be how you pull. Yeah. So if you have your strap, it's A, not long enough, or B, you don't like it over your shoulder, take your right hand down by your thigh and use the pull of your strap like this. If you kind of like the over the shoulder, then in principle, your right arm can hold the strap in front of your chest here. Both are options. Okay. Now, finding that position, let's start there. Your right foot is grounded. Now, notice your left foot, all five toes of your left foot point straight forward. And either you're holding your strap down low by your thigh or up by your chest. Bend and straighten your left knee a few times. Spread your toes as you do so, both your left and your right toes. Then, when your left leg is straight-ish, look back and see where your right toes are pointing. For most of us, your right toes will be slightly turned out to the right, usually not 90. That's a big turnout for a back leg in Warrior 1. Most of the time, your right back toes are going to be pointing almost straight towards the front of your mat. Bend your left knee now. Now, option to hook your left thumb into your left hip crease. And that means you hug your left hip, pull it back as you press all five toes of your back foot, all five toes of your front foot. Press in with your heels, and then lean your upper body forward with your scooping your belly in and up and press down through your back heel. You might need a blanket under your back heel in this position. For some of us, that makes a tremendous difference in terms of the comfort of your back foot. Anyone else? And stability, exactly. Anybody else need a little height under their back heel? It's a really nice adjustment. Go, okay, good, Kathleen. Yes. So find your back heel grounding because that is one of the key hallmarks of this version of the pose. Now, either you pull your strap upwards above the crown of your head, elbows bending and tilting forward, or you reach down and pull your strap up next to your right hip. Either way, broaden your collarbone, draw your navel in and up. If you're going up and back, you might even pull your strap behind you a little bit and maybe lift your gaze. Either arm is viable here, opening up your chest. Now, if you're holding on with just one arm, you might take your left arm and reach it up to the ceiling, pulling your right elbow up and back if you're in the one arm version. If you're in the both arm version, little bit of a chin tuck, lengthen through. Yes, pulling up, up, up on your strap, pushing back and down into your strap with your foot. Deepen your left knee bend, grow taller. Yes, that's it. Yes, Laura, exactly. All right. One more breath. Nice, Carolyn. Yes, Laura B. Good. That's it, Katie. Yes, Naomi. Excellent. That's it, Ann. Swing your elbows to me, Ann. Yes. Carmen, gorgeous. Elbows to Laura B in front of you. That's it, Sherry. Good. And then inhale, come all the way up. That's it, Joanne. Up you come and straighten out. Nicely done. Very good, Shelley. That's it. All right. Questions, complaints. So I didn't hold you that long, but I did hold you long because building bone density and building strength and tenacity and just bugging the shit out of you. Excuse my French. Okay? All right. Now, if you had a strap that went over your shoulder, did that feel a little short and irritating, Laura? Or were you good with it down? Perfect. Okay, good. Anybody unhappy with their strap? Okay. Anyone unhappy with their strap modality? All right. Strap goes on your left foot now. Now, so the whole point is that your left foot has something to push down into, which is your strap. Then your arms also have something to do, either just your left arm pulling up towards your body as you push down and back, or both arms pulling up. Notice though, with your elbows wide, there tends to be a little bit of a constriction at the back of your upper neck, and it can be a little challenging for your shoulders. So if you are holding your strap behind you, try to swing your elbows forward any amount and drop your shoulder blades down your back. And when you're finding your position here, you don't need to go all the way up with your arms yet if you're not ready for that. Bend and straighten your right knee and notice your toes, 10 toes spreading, two heels pressing and digging down. Ground into the mat. Feel all the strength in your legs deepening, supporting you, holding you. Bend your right knee. Hug your belly button in and up. Lean your upper body forward to lengthen your spine. Then begin to pull any amount on your strap. Keep your belly button pulling up and back. Maybe lift your gaze, maybe lift your chest, maybe keep your gaze stable. You don't need to lift your gaze. Yeah, beautiful. Sternum high, chin soft. Good. That's it, Carolyn. Let right knee to the right just a teeny bit more. Yes. That's it, Ann. Beautiful, Laura B. Bending that left knee straight over your left toes. Yes, Laura W. Very nice. Yes, Shelley. Good knee alignment. Yeah, I love it. Beautiful, Joanne. That's it. Ah, gorgeous. Beautiful straight legs. Wow, Virabhadra. Virabhadrasana. You're moving through the earth. You're gonna go destroy the guy that was doing bad things to Shiva and Shakti. Yes. And then straighten your right leg and out you come. Oh, shake, shake, shake. Nicely done. Wow, very good. So the Virabhadras, the warriors, they're all about um, the battle of good and evil within yourself, essentially. Yeah. So like it's not like supposed to be, valorizing violence, but more, encompassing the fact that we're all always battling with ourselves. All right. All right. So no more philosophy for us. What I'd like to go is into a standing pose with your legs wide. triangle variation. So the idea is that you stand facing the middle of your mat, facing the long edge of your mat with no props at all, which is weird and uncharacteristic. And so facing the long edge of your mat, bring your hands onto your low back here. So your either the backs of your hands or your palms right into the curve of your low back. And as you gaze down at your widening footprints, it's a little bit bend your knees. And of course, if your knees do not feel good with a micro bend, straighten them. But if you can micro bend comfortably, do so. Squeeze your inner thighs and then use your hands to help you smooth out your low back. As you puff your low back into your hands, you're doing a cat pose in your low back. Feel the lengthening of those lumbar muscles. And you can even slide down your hands onto the backs of your thighs and go from low back down over your glutes, scooping, right? There's a feeling of lengthening those lumbar muscles where it can help to actually feel the skin, the muscles, the nerve endings in your back as you do that. So keep that feeling. There is a feeling of tucking of your pelvis to keep that rounding, and then roll your shoulders forward, up and back and down, forward, up and back and down. Now remember, again, you can always go like this at any point. Your low back is talking to you. But then keep the squeeze of your glutes, keep the slight tuck of your tailbone, and lift your chest by rolling your shoulders forward, up, and back. Now, Iyengar always starts standing poses by bringing your fingertips together in front of your chest, elbows wide. And then as you step your feet wide, you telescope your elbows out long. Yeah. And then spread your toes, spread your heels, and toe heel your feet to your widest comfortable position for your feet and your ankles. Rock onto your left heel and lift your left toes and spin them internally about 10-15 degrees. And then swivel your right toes out 90 degrees. And then reach out through your arms, turn your palms to face the front of your mat. So when you look at your right hand, your right thumb is to the sky, your pinkies to the floor. Left hand, your left thumb is to the sky, your pinkies to the floor. Bend and straighten your right knee. That's it. Now place your right hand palm facing the same direction inside your right knee and guide your right knee towards your fourth toe. Why not? Hold your right knee bending directly to your fourth toe next to your baby toe, and then stand up really tall. So maybe now your hand doesn't go quite so close to your knee, but maintain the knee alignment and look left. Open your chest. Now squeeze your left shoulder blade closer to your spine and open your left arm any amount behind you. You might not rotate your chest very much at all, but any amount, rotate your chest to the left, gazing left. Now bring your right arm up to shoulder height. Keep your left chest open just like it was and gaze all the way back to the right. Yes, bend your right knee a little more. Now rotate your palms face down. Lift your wrists just above your shoulders, pull your shoulder blades down your back, straighten your left knee more, and look left. Big breath in. Look right. Ah. Now lengthen out over your right thigh. Reach, 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 and cut your right elbow to your right thigh. Now turn your left palm to face the same way it was facing before, thumb to the ceiling, pinky down, and slowly create that left arm straight up to the sky, 12 o'clock, like the arm of a clock. Turn and look down and see that your right ribs are directly over your right thigh. Pull your right hip underneath you, stretch out through your left knee, look up at your left arm if you wish. Maybe even straighten out your right arm, pushing your right knee to the right a little more. Use the leverage of your right arm to twist your shoulders open to the left. Beautiful. Now slowly straighten out your right leg, reach both arms as far apart as you can, and hands to your hips. Spin onto your right heel, rotate your right toes in, swivel your left toes out 90 degrees. Bend and straighten your left knee a few times, Virabhadrasana 2. That's it. On this side, we'll do something a little bit different. Watch your knee now as you bend your knee and see if you can use your brain to bring your left knee over your fourth toe. That's it. Hold your left knee in a bent position, reaching over your fourth toe, but stack your knee right over your ankle. Press down through your left heel and stand up really tall. Now, without moving your hips, just turn your head and look back at your right leg and see if you can straighten your knee a little bit more. Maybe even lift and kick your right heel a little bit back so you make sure you have a slight internal rotation of your right leg. Now reach your right arm up and out and bring your right hand over your right foot. Keep your right side of your chest open like this and bring your left arm out in equal measure. Yes, then turn your gaze left. Now shrug both shoulders up and pull them down. Ah, inhale your shoulders up and drop them down. Now, gazing left, reach your right arm further back to the right and try to bring your right shoulder blade to your spine to open your collarbone even more to parallel the long edge of your mat. Nice, Michael. Now, lift your left heel up any amount, drop your left hip. Nice. Put your left heel back down. Inhale, reach out over your tired left leg. You can always take a break by straightening your left leg. Cut your left elbow to your left thigh. And now, like the clock, arm of the clock, bring your right palm straight up, right above your shoulder. Look down at your left thigh. See that your left ribs are directly over your left thigh. Breathe. Now, option to straighten your left arm and push your left knee to the left behind you to lever yourself into a slightly more twist in your shoulders, your chest. Big lift. Deepen your left hip crease as much as you want. Yes, you might not need to. You might even put your elbow back down on your thigh. One more deep breath in. Exhale, come all the way up. Reach both arms wide, 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 and lower them down. Toe heel, toe heel. Now slowly. We tend to forget about the transitions, but slow transition. Very good. Shake, shake, shake. All right. Now 2 blocks in front for Prasarita Padottanasana. These blocks might not be the ones you use. You might choose to lower your supports. When you step your feet comfortably wide for this flat back position, you can again put your hands on your low back before you go, if that serves you. The idea is to scoop your belly in and up, flatten out your low back, but lift your chest to lengthen your spine, then hinge at your hips, bumping your buttocks back any amount to counterbalance the weight of your upper body. If you want more work, you bring your hips between your heels, so you have to use your core to keep your body neutral. But I like to create less strain on my low back by bumping my hips backward in roughly equal measure. So now I can slide my blocks either in a tall stack or one under each shoulder into a hybrid between downward facing dog and a wide-legged forward fold. For some, your hips will be low as you bend your knees into a yogi squat and your arms reaching forward. Breathing. If none of these options are feeling so good, one of the other ideas to pull your heels in and your toes out. So this is more of a malasana variation. And for some of us, this actually frees up your back in a considerable way. So please feel free to take this knee bending and straightening hands on blocks version where your heels are in and your toes are out. Classical Prasarita Padottanasana has your toes straight ahead. And if you wish for the full hang, you can even put your hands into the crooks of your elbows. Pull your sticky mat right to left with the balls of your feet and a little bit your big toes. Sometimes people like to cross their hands into the crooks of their elbows, and if you do so, just switch it out in a few breaths. You can even sway your upper body a little bit side to side. But stillness is just as lovely as gentle movement. Nice, Carolyn. Beautiful long spine. That's fantastic. And that's great. Yes. If you can drop your head comfortably, maybe find the full weight of your skull and let it hang. See if that can help you relax your neck a little bit differently. Ah, breathing here. If you haven't already changed the crisscross of your arms, change the crisscross of your arms. Then gently rebuild yourself back to flat back slowly. Blocks under your chest, buttocks go behind your heels. Engage your core muscles to help you as you come out and maintaining the integrity of your spine as you slowly rise up. Beautiful, Joanne. And then slowly toe heel your feet together. I'd like to meet you on your mat. Now, the strap loop that I'd like to use here is the one that's super, super big. And again, if you have a smaller strap, I will come right over and give you a longer one. The idea is that you could do, if you wish, Supta Padangusthasana, a hamstring stretch with that big giant loop. Okay, so I'm going to make my loop bigger here in about an hour as I figure it out. Some of these are really hard to work with. Blanketing under your head and neck, really helpful, especially head. The idea of this is, as you've probably seen before, strap can go around your foot and the back of your head. That is to say, for some, that seems like a great idea. With your right foot up in your strap loop, your left foot might feel best flat with your left knee bent. That gives you a little bit more of an anchor into the mat, and also for some is really helpful for the alignment of your back. Your low back might relax more if your left foot stays flat. When you put the strap around your right foot, and maybe see if you want it also behind your head, I've got my strap in a long enough loop here that my head is grounded. But if you prefer your head to gently float, you create that tension by virtue of the strap there, you can make your loop smaller so that your shoulders and your head are lightly lifted as your foot inside your strap loop is reaching up. Your knee might not be straight. Don't force your right knee to straightness, but once again, you can massage out the fascia at the back of your right thigh, even onto your calf and back of your knee here. Again, heat and pressure on the back of your right leg might be nice for you as you open up your back of your right leg there, breathing into your supine, uh, basically big toe to thumb pose. Yeah. So reaching, stretching your right leg. Of course, you can hold the strap with your two hands, Joanne. That's exactly it. You don't need to let go of the strap, or you can if the strap is in a place where it's not slipping on your head. It can be a little tricky to find the best focal point, fulcrum for your strap. Yeah, Sarah, good. And if it doesn't feel good to put that strap around your head, no need. Yeah, yes, it falls and your nervous system says, that's terrible. I'm not doing that. For some, it's nice to slowly move your right leg left to right. I often hold my strap if I do this so that it's more stable, but it can be nice to explore slightly different muscle fiber stretches by slowly moving your right leg left to right. Yeah. And for others, it feels better not to do that. Yeah. So explore what works for you. Naomi, I love the pigeon. That's fantastic. When you're ready to switch sides, I often like to bring both feet up into my strap loop, then this time you would take your right foot out and put it flat. Maybe stretch your right leg long, or maybe keep your right knee bent as you move on to side B when you're ready. It can be very helpful when stretching these big muscles to really focus on your deep breathing, much as we did at the beginning of class. Extend your inhalation, extend your exhalation. Purposefully breathing more fully in and out. Send the message to your nervous system that this is actually a well-controlled event. It's not a cause for flight, fight, freeze mode, but rather tend and befriend, which is a little cheesy, but there it is. Noticing your breathing, soften your brain. When you feel even, we probably need a little bit more on this side, but the next pose is Shavasana. If you have a different pose that would serve you now before deep relaxation, please feel free to take it. But if you're ready to rest, I invite you to find your favorite corpse pose, lying on your back, using bolsters, blankets, legs up the wall. Any other poses or stretches that you need first are always welcome. Customize your practice to make it suit you. And if you realize that you're freezing to death and you don't have a blanket nearby, raise your hand. I'll be happy to bring you one. Now you have nothing to do, just to let your body be breathed. Now, very gently begin to deepen your breathing. Make any movements that feel really appealing and comfortable and obvious to you. Leave aside any of those that have the moniker should. And gradually find your way back into your body, either staying on your back, resting, or finding your way to a seated position. The main thing about finding your seat is to see if you can sit nice and upright without effort, not stressing out your knees, hips, ankles, or low back. Invite you to fold your palms together like two leaves meeting in front of your chest. Feel the base of your thumbs resting on the front of your body. Feel your sternum rise to meet your thumbs and wash your shoulder blades down your back. Take a really nice big inhale, grow really tall with it. Keep that height as you let something go. Ah. And again, a big tall breath in. Maintain that and ah. Pausing for a moment to observe the quality of your mind, quality of your breath, and of your heart, and sensation throughout your body. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for coming. Speaking of gratitude, I'm so grateful to be able to do this. I mean, I don't know what my life would be without yoga. First of all, my physical body would be a wreck, but also in terms of community and like doing things, something that feels like it makes something of an impact, positive impact, however small, is a huge, huge benefit for me. And so I really appreciate you showing up. And yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I'll be teaching my regular schedule next week, believe it or not. But I realize you may not be doing your regular schedule. Make good choices.
Anne, you are terrific. You're really terrific. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank
I
you,
I can
Debbie.
do I could do everything. And
Amazing.
I love the strap around the head. That's one of my favorite resting positions. I
Oh,
love that.
good.
So,
Fantastic.
yeah, I
Oh, I'm
feel
so
great.
happy,
Thank you so
Debbie.
much. And I'm wishing
Mm,
you the best for your upcoming surgery in December. You're going to do
thank you.
fine. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. All right. Take care, Debbie. Great
You
to
too.
see you.
You too.
Susanna, you too. Great to see you. Hope you
Yes,
have a lovely.
thank you, Anne. You make such a difference. You make a huge,
Absolutely.
huge
Susanna
difference.
and I are your fans, Anne.
Thank
She's
you.
got so many fans.
Yep.
Thank you.
And
Thank
yes,
you.
thinking about your surgery and wishing all good things and
Yeah. Way
Thank you.
ahead. We're giving you wishes way ahead.
Excellent. Yeah,
sending
I'm
you a
collecting
big
them.
hug.
All right. Be well. Both have a lovely weekend
You
and see you
too.
next week or not, depending
Okay.
on what
Yes.
works. Okay. All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.